All right, what's up, folks? Welcome to Foreign and Domestic. It is good to be here. Good to see people popping up in the side chat. That being said, Alan, please start us off right, brother. Maybe.
Alan, hello.
You're muted, bud.
Yeah, sorry. I thought I heard water running in my bathroom. Hang on.
Oh,
Here we go.
weren't we just talking about this?
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Awesome. How you doing, man?
I am doing well. It was another thick, high hour week for me, so haven't really been able to do anything but work. So today had to do the standard adulting thing. That wasn't very entertaining most of the time.
Yeah,
And because the temperatures have been so damn cold, I'm wearing base layers, I'm wearing fleece, I'm layer after layer, and so the laundry situation was a bit thick.
The washing machine holding up.
I think so, Senora.
Jamie, what's happening, man? How you doing, brother?
Better than I deserve. Thanks for having me. You can see my bucket right back there. I got 270 brass in the dry vibratory tumbler because it has been sized and it's getting the grease removed off of it. So that's why everything's a mess in here. This is a working reloading room. So,
you know what, man? I always say if your reloading room is clean, it's not a reloading room. Something's not right with it.
You're not doing much.
Mine's an absolute disaster, and that's just how it is. It always is.
Well, that's because you're probably trying to do a little bit of something in there.
It's pretty much it, man. It's just a little bit here, a little bit there.
Yeah,
at work.
Both my benches essentially look like Pat's back there. You can see his bench in the background where you can hardly tell what color the top of it is. That's pretty much how my benches look. And then I've got like a little kitchen table off on the side of that. And, well, that's where my cleaning vise and all the other implements are stored. And it looks like absolute flipping chaos, but I can tell you exactly where everything's at.
And that's all that matters.
So basically what we're saying, if you're looking at our reloading rooms in judgment, let's look at yours.
I'm going to tell you straight up, if your reloading room is clean, something's not right.
Yeah, you're not doing anything.
Exactly.
Pat, how you doing, man?
Doing really good. Finally got above 40 today for the first time in I don't know how long. So yeah, it's nice today. It was nice today. And then kiddo had her last wrestling tournament today, so she finished out strong on the year. First year doing that, so she's doing really good. and then hit the range because it was so nice outside, and literally got in about 15, 20 minutes ago, and now I'm hanging out with you fellas. So it's been a great Sunday. I can't complain.
Nice, man. Nice. Good deal. Good deal. Where did she finish at?
She got last, but here's the thing. This is her first year, and usually she was really timid and getting pinned like super quick and everything, and now she's worked herself up to where she can almost go 3 rounds and be fighting and be more aggressive and everything. So she's improved. She's improved. So some of those kids that she was wrestling against, shoot, they've already got 2-3 years on her already. So yeah, she's got a hard road to hoe, but she'll get there. She likes it. So hopefully we got more to come next year. Hopefully she'll do it again. So I enjoy watching her. So it's really fun to see those kids have all that fun. So
That's good, dude. As long as she's having fun and she's enjoying it, that's a good thing. We got Ozzy out there. We got Walter out there. Good to see you guys. Rob, what's happening, man?
Not much, just surviving. I'll jump on Allen's bandwagon there and bitch about the weather. It's been below 0 or feels like 7 below for days now in my area. So clothing, I feel his pain as far as the laundry and whatnot, because yeah, you got to bundle up, and sometimes to the point where you're sweating on the inside and your outside layers are getting dirty, so you're washing a whole lot of laundry. So hopefully you own a washer and dryer, obviously, because that's got to be rough if you don't. But yeah, we're running ours pretty much daily here with a bunch of outfits, same purpose, just got to layer up, man. I haven't found anything yet besides a product I can't afford to get at this point that supposedly where you're protected by one layer. So I hear a lot of advertisements, but I never come across anything like that. So it's just that time of year.
Yeah, it's shitty, man. It's Pat was telling me, got over 40 for him, and I'm like, dude, it's the first time we got into double digits in the last 2 weeks.
Right? Yeah.
it hit a massive 18 degrees today.
The ice isn't as hard, but it's still there.
Oh yeah, it's still there.
Yeah, I've been done with this winter crap for a couple of 3 weeks now at least. But it does enable me to every now and then do a magic trick where I pull an acorn out of about 6 inches of Carhartt.
That's a bitch too, man. When you're wearing the thermals and everything, goddamn, like that can be cutting it close sometimes.
Yeah, it just reminds me of that song. Do a little dance, pull it on out.
Here we go, folks. You weren't ready for it, but we got singing time with AllenBePro.
It's a pain trying to get through 5 layers through a little zippered area.
I'll tell you, I haven't had to use it this year yet, but it's funny. A few years back, it got so fucking cold at work. I went out and I bought a heated jacket, and they're not cheap by any means of the matter. It's like $300 for a damn jacket. But I'll tell you, dude, when I have to use that thing, it's freaking nice.
What kind of battery is it?
It's a Milwaukee. I bought Milwaukee.
Okay.
I've got mine out charging, man. Hold on a minute, I'll get it.
So it runs off the 12-volt system. I already have 12 other Milwaukee 12-volt stuff, so It works out pretty good having that. That way, I get plenty of other batteries and all the rest of it. But it's a nice jacket. I mean, it's not. I think they're way overpriced for what they are. But I mean, it's damn nice when you need it.
Yeah, there's two different ones they sell too. The ones that got like, I think it's like two heating pads, like up towards the chest area. And then they got other ones that do the 4 pads where they include like the back as well or something. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
got the
I
one. I
think
got
they're
the one that
overpriced.
does. I got the one that does all of them. So I got the front and the back.
Yeah. They want a lot of damn money, which blows my mind when you consider like a heat blanket or something like that. Like other things that might be comparable. It seems like a lot of damn money.
It's a lot of money, but I'll tell you, dude. After that 1 year where I went to work and I literally froze my ass off the entire night, shaking. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I
So
went out
that
and bought that thing. I went out and bought that thing the next week, and I'm happy I bought it.
for,
I'm
for
telling
that
you,
price. Oh, sorry. Good.
in a tree stand, Rob, I mean, work's one thing. But in a tree stand, you're trying to be still and quiet. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're sitting there shivering, you know,
Oh yeah, yeah. I
don't
just
get
wonder
it.
for that price, would it have been better buying like the aerogel product or trying to think of the other brand, but basically that stuff that the astronauts use that basically just locks your body heat in, so you can literally stand in front of a torch and it doesn't bother you with the heat. There is a product out there, where they sell sweatshirt stuff, but they're like about 400 and some odd dollars. So, but obviously, I haven't tried one yet. But if it's like
Well,
they
no,
claim,
you're a cheap fucker. You ain't trying that
that's
shit.
probably the way to go, man. Because you don't even have to worry about the batteries, recharge, none of that shit. So,
Other than that Milwaukee heated jacket that I have, the best thing I've found to keep you warm in the woods when it's really cold is that military issue thermal underwear that's like polypropylene. That
yeah,
kind of,
polypros.
yeah,
Yeah, I got those. I still use them. They work well. I agree. They do
they
work
work,
well.
they work well. And back
What
when
is it like? What is it like? Whoopee freaking thermals?
it's like plastic and wool. It's like plastic on the outside and wool on the inside. It's almost like a insulated garbage bag. That sounds weird, don't it?
So you're putting a garbage bag around your
You're not wrong.
nutsack. That's what you just said, right? You're
You-
putting a garbage bag around your nutsack.
It's not all that. It's not all completely like that. But you guys that have had them, the polypropylene insulated underwear from the military issue, they work well. You could get them cheap when we had an Army Navy store in town, but we don't have one in town anymore, so they're harder to come by.
Hey, if it works, it works, man. You got the Milwaukee heated jacket too, so yeah, it's not cheap, but it damn well works. When you need it, it's there.
Well, my son bought mine for me last Christmas. There's MCK. What's up, Mock?
They sell different versions of them. I just shown one that was a lighter. There's a different weights basically. So, or at least that's what I was issued. I was issued one that's a little thinner that I use all the time, and then one that's a lot thicker. But there's something about them. They do work great. Mine are old as hell, and they still work great. They do a job that you'd expect them to be way thicker or something, but it's they're pretty good. I think anybody, if you're looking for thermals, they're probably cheaper than the shit you're buying at the store if you get them for surplus.
Yeah,
So,
they will shock you. They're surprising.
yeah, they're worth it. Tops and bottoms you can get, obviously. Two different weights on both. So
And
Yeah.
one other thing to look at too, my brother actually brought it up to me here a while back was snowshoes. If you find some surplus snowshoes.
And wool socks.
Yep, wool socks. Yep.
Socks are a funny thing. I think it has a lot to do with what you're doing, on my opinion, because I know sometimes if I overdo it on socks, my feet will sweat and I'll get cold from the feet sweat.
Yeah.
So you gotta. I don't know. I don't think there's a best way. I think it depends what you're doing. If you're moving a lot, this or that, you might want to consider a blended or something along those lines. If you're sitting in a tree stand, that's a total different story. But again, yeah, I'd recommend dressing for what you're doing. Dress for the occasion, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Because, just depending on what I'm doing, if I'm just like feeding cows and stuff first thing in the morning, um, where I'm not doing a lot of moving, I'm just going from tractor to tractor and loading the hay or whatever, you know. I'll put on my heavier duty redhead cold winter boots if I'm just going to be doing a lot of sitting around, just back and forth to a tractor or whatever. But if I'm going to be out, really doing a lot of moving around, then I'll just go back to my regular work boots, my leather work boots with steel toes in them, because I'm the same way. My feet will just, even with wool socks, my feet will just get to sweating so damn bad if I'm moving around too much. And eventually, then I slow down.
Mm-hmm.
And then I freeze up. I just freeze up.
Yeah, you got to match your movements in a sense, but
Mhm.
it's nice to have options, though. That's what surprises me. That it seems like a lot of guys don't have much footwear. They got like one pair of boots, one pair of sneakers, and I'm like, damn. If that's you guys, I don't understand how the hell you do it, because I mean, I work outside basically year round, so I gotta have shit that's waterproof, shit that's breathable, shit that's protective, shit that's protective and flexible. Like there's always a better tool for the job you're doing. It's like I got like 5 different types of hammers, but I don't want to use a framing hammer to, you know, put a damn finish nail in. You know what I mean? Like you can, but you probably shouldn't, especially if you waffle head somebody's drywall with it. But you know what I mean? There's different tools for different jobs. So, and your feet are one of the most damn important things there is to your body. Like back pain, knee pain, all that shit. A lot of it stems from the bottom on up. You're on your feet all the time. So you really got to take care of your feet.
Everything comes from the ground up, man. That's exactly it. Everything comes from the ground up.
Oh, excuse me. But
Why it kills me when I seen a grown ass man wearing Crocs. It's like, God damn it, what are you doing? Unless you're at your house or something.
My fucking landlord. My fucking landlord. All he fucking wears is bloody Crocs.
preach,
I'm like,
Rob.
dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you?
Time and place, people. Time and place. When you're out in public and you might be needed or counted upon or have to put your foot up somebody's ass, good footwear helps.
Dude, he like, all right. So like a few years back, we put new windows in this place. He comes over to help put the windows in, and he shows up wearing the fucking Crocs. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? We're putting windows in. Why the fuck are you wearing Crocs? Oh, they're comfortable. We're literally fucking working. What the fuck?
Yeah, it blows my mind on what some people's choice of footwear on depending on what they're doing. Like, I would not dream of everything that I do where I could have a cow or something step on my foot, or a 300-pound calf, or hell, even a 600-pound calf or something like that, or something falling onto my feet. Well, hell, good case in point. Here 2 years ago, I was running a damn chainsaw, and there was a T-post underneath of the log, and I didn't know it.
Ooh.
I got down to the bottom, and I just nicked it, and I had my foot up on the log, keeping it steady because it was rocking around. That thing jumped up, and I tried to catch it, and it came right back down onto my steel toe boot, just about at the end of the steel toe. I thought I had literally cut my foot wide open. I threw the chainsaw down, started cussing, and I said, "Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please, oh, please." It had snagged like 2 little fibers on my sock because it kind of bounced off the metal, but the metal slowed it down just enough when it kind of slid off of that and went through all that leather. I got really damn lucky. If I wouldn't have had steel-toed boots on, I'd probably be missing some digits on my feet. Let's put it that way.
It doesn't take much. You're out there, you're operating the saw or whatever it may be. It don't take a whole lot.
No,
You
just
gotta be a little bit smarter about your footwear.
And honestly, you can do a better job when you're not worried about ruining your nice jeans or, hurting your foot in your Crocs or something. When you don't have to focus on that type of shit, you can focus more on your job,
Yep.
So
it's funny you mentioned that because you all give me shit because all my jeans are covered in oil and dirt and other shit and grime. Hey, you know what? I work for a living, so my shit's covered in crap, and I go out and I work and I do shit, and that's just what it is. My shit's covered in shit. Deal with it.
Yep. Amen, brother.
You should have a nice pair in case you got to go out now and then. But I'm just stating, like, in general, like you see those people that they'll show up to work with brand new white Nikes or something. Like, you realize those are going to be trashed in like 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, makes no sense. And then they want to tiptoe around the whole damn day. Like, no, man, just take your ass home. Like, show up with some real shoes so you can keep up with the job. I don't know. Some of that shit just blows my mind, but I don't know. Yeah, it's just one of them things, I guess. But you can definitely do a better job when you're using the right tools. That's just all it is to it. Yeah.
Yep.
Agreed.
100%. And when it comes to tools, spend the money and get the good stuff. Don't go cheap on tools, man. Trust me. I used to buy cheap tools for a long time, for many, many years, and hell, I think it was, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. I said I'm done buying cheap shit, and I asked I asked the bearded CB what I should look at buying for a particular project, and he told me. I'm like, okay. I will give him credit when it comes to tools. CB knows tools. When it comes to restaurants, CB knows nothing. Never go to a restaurant based off of CB. Mm-mm.
No, unless you plan on wearing your Birkenstocks, you don't want to go to any of those restaurants.
Nice shout back, Alan.
That one last place that he said for us to go to, and this was a while back now. This is probably like, I don't know, probably about 4 years ago now. Me and Alan and his gal and all that, we show up and we walk into this place, and we're not even really greeted. We're just kind of stared at, and we're like, okay, like, are we supposed to seat ourselves, or like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? And I think that was kind of part of it, wasn't it? It was like they came up and was like, yeah, just go seat yourself, find wherever you want to sit. And so we're like, all right, that's whatever. Well, then we're sitting there and we're like, all right, well, how the fuck are we, supposed to order food and all the rest of it? And we're looking, and the fucking menu is, what the hell is the menu? Is it on the phone again or something like that?
Yeah, they had basically what looked like a coaster sitting on the table, and that had the QR code, and you're supposed to scan that in order to get to the menu.
Oh, I hate that shit. Like I'll just get up and leave, dude. Usually they'll come over and bring it. They're like, oh, and bring in old school menu. But if not, I'll just leave. Fuck that shit.
Oh no, these people didn't do that. And I looked at Alan and I'm like, you want to get the fuck out of here? And he's like, yep.
And those are the places where they automatically put down like, do you want to leave a tip? 20%'s already checked. And then they got like 30 and 40%. Like they don't even have a spot for no tip at those with those damn machines. Like
Well,
they
yeah,
don't even greet you, sit you down or nothing. You're doing the work for them, but then they still want a
well,
freaking 30% tip or some shit. Are you shitting me?
and that was sort of the thing in the time span that we were there. Essentially, they were kind of rude about it. They're like, "Well, menus on the table, you have to scan it," and then people were getting up from their table to go get their food from the bar, from the counter, and I'm like,
What?
"There's absolutely no service in this fucking place. What the hell? It's like
Oh,
mail
man.
order lunch."
Yeah, and then we call him and we're like, hey dude, what the fuck? And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, what the hell did you send us to? He's like, oh, it's a really good place. I'm like, I'm not sure where the fuck you went to, but it's nowhere close to being a good place. And then he said the key words. Well, the wife. Oh, the wife.
Well, was the food any good? Did you get to that point?
Oh no, dude, we didn't even get no.
Okay, okay,
We when the whole menu freaking debacle showed up, we're like, no, fuck this, we're walking out.
yeah. Like I don't like those QR code scan shit because everybody's using those for scams now. Like if you download like open one of those up, like, it's been on the news. Like there's places like beach parking where people put up they look official signs, or like take down the town sign, put up their sign. It looks identical, but the QR code's changed, and now they're robbing you through your phone, getting bank access, all types of shit. Like I don't even I'm not doing it. I don't even have a reader on my phone. I don't think because of all that shit. Even though I could check something in a store, but it's the same thing. Like if you do use it, be real careful. Look for stickers over the original QR codes, all that type of shit. There's even something going around with the mail where you end up getting a free package at the door to claim it. Uh, Swipe this QR code or whatever the hell it is, and people are getting robbed. So I'm totally against all that shit. Honestly, there's too many ways it can get abused, and there was nothing wrong with somebody greeting you with a smile, showing you to a table in a section that's open, and asking what you'd like to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a little bit of an issue anyway. I understand I'm an old guy. I might be a bit old school, but I go into sit down restaurants and I see 4 or 5 people sitting around a table and everybody's staring at their phones. Nobody's having a conversation. There's no interaction with the people. Everybody's just plugged into their damn phones. Me, I'm like, I keep my phone away unless there's an absolute need for it. Most of the time, I go to a sit down restaurant, I'll leave my phone in my vehicle because it's just like, well, someone can try to get a hold of me. They can get a hold of me after I'm done doing what I'm doing. It's what's more important than what I'm doing right now that I need to be like plugged into my damn phone.
Yeah. Well, I'll kind of piggyback off of that too, Alan. Today at the wrestling meet, man, unless it was their kid or somebody they knew wrestling down there on the mat, and they had 3 mats going, and it was absolutely awesome to see some of those kids. Some of them had a real aptitude for it, and some of them, just getting started, everything from preschool all the way up to 6th grade. And, I always try to keep my phone down when I'm out to eat or at a school function and stuff like that. And, if somebody calls me, like my wife or my daughter or my dad or, something, yeah, I'll answer the phone because that's probably important because they know where I'm at. But if it's not important, I just, nope, just I'm busy and I'll get back to you later. Not trying to be a prick about it or anything, but man, all those people or just in their phones, and it's just like, holy crap, guys, look at some of these matches going on. Some of these kids are freaking going after it. And, I know some of the kids there, granted I don't get out a whole lot, but some of those kids, even from other places, man, some of those kids were getting after it and they were good. I couldn't believe it. And I was just like, I was having way more fun watching the kids wrestle than being on my damn phone. Being in the moment, being present and in the moment is way more fun than being on your damn phone.
I agree. It's better to live it than to play it or watch it. That's how I feel about sports and shit like that myself. I'm all about getting in it, but I don't want to sit here and pay money to sit in the stands and watch the shit. But no thanks. But yeah, totally agree. And I'm like Alan, you go out to eat or something, I might snap a photo of like my dinner for some stupid reason that I never use. I don't know why, but other than that, I don't usually mess with my phone at dinner, especially if I'm like going out with friends or something like that. Like if you're taking the time to go out with somebody, I think it's kind of rude. Like, now as it's people dating and shit. Half the time, dates are just sitting on their phone the whole time. Like I wouldn't be dealing with that shit. So I don't know. It's rude. I think it's rude. So in a lot of cases, so
Yep. Agreed.
yeah, it's just like I said, rude. I don't know.
Well, the thing of it is, if you're that boring that I gotta sit and play on my fucking phone when we're supposed to be on a date, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. Or you want to video it or some shit or what? Like, oh hell no! Like, the hell is this shit? So I don't know. There's a lot of weird shit going on. Thankfully, I don't have to worry about that currently. But it just seems to be a thing where I don't know. It seems weird to me. I mean, you're
Well, and
supposed
even if you're just standing talking to somebody, there's a completely different feel in when that person doesn't have their phone in their hand compared to when they do have their phone in their hand. Even if they're not looking at it, even if they're not like even glancing at it, if they just have their phone in their hand and you're having this pleasant conversation with somebody or whatever, it's just like, oh, okay, what are you just waiting for something more important than what we're doing, what we're discussing, completely not being in the moment. It's yeah, it can change the tide of a conversation alone, more or less, a sit down dinner with people breaking bread.
So,
give a
so
response.
Rob, you're being accused of always taking pics of salads and posting your pics of salads.
Hey, I'll give them that, but that's because it's just proof that I don't just talk the talk, but I walk the walk.
You walk the walk.
So you should eat a salad too. Okay, so I'm just putting it out there.
I don't
So
believe it. I don't believe it. I think he's taking pictures of his woman's salad before she starts mowing down.
I agree. I don't think they belong to him, dude. I think he's full of shit.
Rob's like leaning over in the restaurant. Man, can I take a picture of your salad before you start?
It's like him going out and shooting Smith and Wesson pistols. I don't know. Does he actually carry a Smith & Wesson, or does he actually carry a Glock? He might carry a Glock. I don't know.
Oh, you're gonna hurt my shield feelings.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Oh man. But
Not that we friends.
That'll teach you to think.
Oh, that's great. That's good stuff right there. Yeah. But anywho, another good conversation that we were having. Maybe we could throw this out to the chat too. Right before we walked in here, loaded mags versus unloaded mags in storage. Do you keep yours topped off and loaded and ready to go, or do you always empty yours when you're done?
Or download them. Pull 1 or 2 rounds out.
Yep.
Yep, I would say so. For me, I would say 99% of them are all loaded. There's a whole different kind of rigs set up, ready to rock and roll. If I have to, bug out and do what I got to do, whatever, it's all loaded. I don't worry about springs or anything like that. People sit there and say, you're going to destroy your springs, do this, do that. They're designed to be loaded. So load them. That's what they're there for. Alan, what about you, man?
Absolutely. I mean, you hear me say it all the time. Keep them magazines loaded. There's a 20 round AR mag that normally resides empty. The only time that particular magazine gets loaded is like sighting in sled stuff. Other than that, yeah, they're all loaded. All the pistol mags, all the rifle mags. I know a little bit about metallurgy, and spring steel does not decay and rate just because it's been collapsed for 20, 30, 40 years. In some cases, there's people that have actually found magazines that have been loaded for over 40 years, and they still cycle just fine as long as you don't develop corrosion or anything inside of it. Yeah, magazines are loaded, man.
Yeah, we got Edward out there. He just found some 1911 mags have been loaded for over 20 years and fired just fine. So perfect example and perfect segue to what you were talking about. They can be loaded for a long time. So yeah, I don't worry about it. Keep them loaded. Jamie, what about you, man? What do you think?
I have for my carry gun, I have 2 that are loaded and 2 that are not. And every so often I'll swap them out. But that's just me. The others I generally keep 1 loaded and 1 unloaded. And that's just my thinking. But, revolvers make that a moot point. So,
Very valid point. I mean, spring steel is it only wears with it being used. You can take a leaf spring from a truck that's brand new, never and just put it in there. It's not going to wear unless it gets used. you're still going to have the same spring rate. It's not going to decay long enough to do it. So, I mean, and I've talked to lots of guys that, yeah, loaded, unloaded, it doesn't matter. It's the loading and unloading of them that eventually wears on the spring itself. We were mentioning before the chat, like some magazines have plastic feed lips, and for some oddball reason, people will keep them somehow around a heat source. I have no idea why you would do that, but and so you can develop deformation in the actual feed lip portion, which is why a lot of the polymer mags now have steel lips on the inside, just right at the feed lip area. So yeah, it's the use that actually wears on the actual spring.
Agreed. As far as me, I'll tell a quick story on this. Just to try to reiterate what Alan was saying, there was that I'm heavy in motorsports. There was a guy named Lake Speed that used to run NASCAR back in the day. Has been retired 20 years, and he still got his race shop and everything. Well, his son surprised him one day because his son owns a big race shop company kind of deal. He put one of his dad's cars back together, and he had a freshly rebuilt NASCAR motor from 1998 or 99. Been sitting there 20 years, overhauled, ready to go to the track and everything, and it had brand new valve springs in it. They said, "Oh well, those valve springs are going to be junk. You need to change them out." They put that engine. This engine had been dynoed and then set aside. They took that very same engine, put it back on the dyno, checked everything, same amount of horsepower, pulled the same amount of RPMs. And now, if those springs were shot just from sitting there under load, it would have floated the valves at probably $5 to $6 grand versus 8.5 to 9. So that tells you right there that as long as your technology is good and your metallurgy is good on springs, it doesn't matter if it's a valve spring, a car spring, or a magazine spring. As long as your metallurgy is good on your springs, it's not going to wear out just from being loaded or unloaded.
Yep, 100%. And I bought some magazines where I've gone ahead and just switched up the springs right at the rip because the springs are you can just tell the springs are not strong enough. I've also had brand new guns that I bought where the magazines don't function right, and had to buy aftermarket mags in order to get the gun to run right. And it's all because their springs are not strong enough.
Yep. I ran into that with a certain brand of AR mag that is now in a million pieces because it was a great big pile of junk. So I was like, well, nope, I'm not going to keep that one around. It's just going to get destroyed. So I don't ever accidentally use it again.
Yeah, no, it's you can run as some of these companies just sell absolute junk, man. I've had really good luck with the Men 2 magazines over the years, especially with ARs. But I bought some that were for the AR9, and I had nothing but problems with them. And I had to reach out to the company, and they gave me a refund of the money to basically turn around and buy the next gen when the next gen comes out. I'm still waiting because they still haven't showed up yet.
Oh, God.
But yeah, so that's just kind of sitting there and floating. But yeah, there are some companies out there that have some really good magazines, and then you get some that are really shitty magazines. That last 9mm 1911 that I bought, brand new mags that came with it, suck. I had to buy Ed Brown custom aftermarket magazines to get it to run right.
Oh, and just to fill in from what I was talking about, yes, every single one of my mags is loaded except 2. I kind of do what Allen does. If I'm sighting in an AR or something like that, I've got a couple 10-round magazines that I just leave empty because they don't hold much, and unless I'm going to do some coyote hunting with it and I don't want it to snag on something when I'm doing a night hunt or something like that, that's about the only time I ever load them up. Other than that, all my 30 rounders, which I've got anywhere between, about 25 of them, they're loaded, just ready to go. So, Rob, what say you?
Basically, yeah, I keep mine loaded. It's kind of where we brought this conversation up, or stemmed off from you originally, Pat. But yeah, I personally haven't experienced any problems. I know people have said that. I have come across a bad magazine, but honestly, that was brand new when it was bad. But all in all, so I'm not, wouldn't say it's not a thing. I don't know. I don't experience it, so I don't really worry about it currently. But I do also stock other mags. Usually, like I try to buy like twice as much as I think I'm going to use on a regular event or whatever. So it might be 20 mags or whatever the case may be, and I'll test them all, make sure everything runs, and then I take like half of them, keep them out in rotation loaded. The other half I mark as good and throw them back in packaging usually, and just stock them just in case. So as a whole, in general, anything that I'm going to be reaching for around the house or whatever is loaded, been loaded. It's been fine for years. So I don't. That's kind of why I had asked Pat, and when he said he was just got done shooting and reloading mags. So it's kind of how the topic got brought up in a sense. Again, I'm guilty of it myself because I just haven't personally experienced any problems with it.
It's a good topic, and I'm glad it came up. Jay Dowell, what about you, man? You keep your magazines loaded?
I do. Hey, thank you for inviting me, man. We had one of our biggest snow, so my internet has been going in and out. Your email went to to spam, so got to take the wife out of work. So I thought I'd jump in for a while and chat with you guys, and then leave a little earlier. But yes, I do. I keep all my EDC magazines. They stay loaded. The only time I reload them is when I go out to practice, and I reload them again. And then sometimes you have a lot of issues with 22 LRs, especially rifles with new magazines. So sometimes, you're trying to double feed. So what I do when I get new magazines like that, they give me trouble. I just load them and let them sit for weeks. Then I take them back to the range and they usually fix the issue.
Howdy, Mr. Delta, by the way.
Hey,
thanks for
Pat.
joining us. How are we doing tonight, sir?
Not too bad. We just had some snow, 6 inches of measure this morning, which is big for us. But the sun came out and it's all melting. So
Right
we're
on.
doing good. We are doing good.
Awesome.
That's good, man. Glad you have you. Glad you can make it. And I don't know why it goes to spam. It happens to some people. Good
So
old
last
Google.
moment is 7:30, and I look. I see no email. I look in my spam box, and sure enough, there it was. I'll tell you, it's a conspiracy.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% is, man.
Yeah, I'm serious. Sometimes, sometimes anything that has to do with Second Amendment, I cannot prove it, but it seems like it goes into the spam box. I don't know what it is. So
I know, absolutely, 100%. I get a bunch of emails from different companies and organizations, and they all end up in spam, and they only end
yes,
up in spam because they're Second Amendment.
yep, I'm telling you, it has to be.
You guys using Google?
No, I'm old school. I got AOL mail.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or say
yeah.
Gmail or whatever. Yeah. You figure most of these, companies are probably in the end traced back to the government anyway. So
I know.
But
I know
wouldn't
AOL is.
surprise me. You
Yeah,
know what I
no, they
mean? It wouldn't
are.
surprise me at all if little mistakes happen in certain ways.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they all do. Absolutely, 100%. They
Mhm.
all trace back to the government. The government's always in control of everything. They read everything. They see what you're doing. The whole 9 yards.
Ah,
We got another
That's
22
why
person here, man.
that's why you got to keep your magazines loaded.
Yep.
yeah, that's a damn good point.
That's it.
Hey,
Well, smart.
shit got
Also keep
weird
one in the
here.
chamber.
Shit got kind of weird here. What, 2, 3 years ago? It started getting really kind of bad, and we weren't really sure what was going to happen and all that. And I took all my AR mags and I loaded all my AR mags up, and someone was watching me as I was doing it, and they're like, "You're fucking crazy," and I'm like, "No, I'm not crazy. I'm prepared." That's what that is. I'm prepared.
Yeah, there's a big difference between crazy and prepared. Now, there might be 1 or 2 degrees going to crazy, but that's not crazy.
All right, so we got
Well,
a we got,
and
we
with
got a good question out
that,
there. We got a question from New Texican, asking about how does anyone feel about keeping the lever action loaded. I keep mine loaded all the time, brother. I have one that sits in the truck. It's my truck gun, along with a couple others. So yeah, I got no problem keeping those loaded either.
Yeah, I've got a Henry uh, 22, and it used to ride with me in my pickup or my car probably for the first 10 years that I had that. It was just, sniping raccoons and stuff out of feed bunks or whatever, and it was always with me, always loaded. Now it's not currently in my rotation all the time now, so it stays unloaded now, but it was loaded for 10 years, and I've never had one single misfeed or tried to do a weird double feed or anything like that. And it's probably 25 years old now. And man, I've just never had a lick of trouble with that, with any feeding issue. Didn't matter with the ammo or what. It just always loaded. As long as I did my part and I didn't short shuck it or something stupid, great. Never had a problem with the spring. Right down to the last bullet.
Yeah, I'm same way with my 870 shotgun. Same thing. It's always loaded. Never had a problem with it.
I don't have a lever action, but Mossberg 500 or whatever I've had for, I don't know, 15, 16 years, man, that basically stays loaded too. So uh, it's always been kind of a home defense hallway gun if need be. So, but obviously, it's never gave me an issue with any kind of the springs or anything in the tube. So, um, yeah, not in my experience. So,
What about you, Jamie? You're a lever guy. Do you keep anything loaded on lever guns in your house or anything, or you just do it when you're going out to go hunt or just go shoot?
Typically, I don't. And it's for safety reasons because I have a granddaughter that lives in my house.
Gotcha.
And if she would let me teach her about guns, she's just not interested. So all my guns are stored as safely as I possibly can. They're all in safes or cabinets, unloaded. It's good to have Jose on here tonight. Thanks for joining us, J Delta.
Good to see you, Jamie. Thank you, sir.
So, anybody else got lever guns or anything like that they keep loaded?
I don't have one, but if I have one, I'll keep it loaded. I hear what Jamie says. Yeah, you have to be careful. So just me and the wife in the house, and I got 3 saves. So, but when not in the house, any loaded gun stays on the safe.
I think Jamie. So I was going to say, I think Jamie's got a good point with safety, grandkids, stuff like that. So me being a parent, obviously, I have firearms. I may have something in my room or a spot where people may know to go. But obviously, if the way I've had it set up is I got a lock on my room and my office, and that's where pretty much the majority of everything is. So whenever there's big parties or anything like that, everything's just locked down. So there can't be any mistakes because, you don't want to be that guy. I trust my kids. Honestly, I trust them 100%, but I can't trust their friend or a friend of somebody's friend. You know what I mean? I can't. So, you never know.
It's
Absolutely.
I don't really have people over here. I'm not exactly a people person.
No.
I'm sure most of you know that already, but I'm not really a people person.
Yeah, Jamie has a point. When my grandkids come, man, that everything is locked. I double, triple check that everything is locked. I don't leave anything anywhere when they're here. Even they can't reach it because they're small. But like New York said, you got to be extra careful.
Look, man, that's a chance and a mistake I'm not willing to make with my granddaughter's life.
Absolutely.
No, and I completely understand on that, and which I think that's great, Jamie. Now, I'll put it this way: between my kids versus other kids, all my kids shoot. So it's the demystification or debullshitting the situation has already been done, and they've seen what a gun can do and everything, and they leave them alone. If they want to go shooting, they come up to me and they say, "Hey, Dad, can we go shoot today?" Perfect, awesome. Let's go grab them. We'll load up on the range and we'll go shoot. Now, if somebody else's kids that I don't know all that great, I can leave all my stuff loaded around that, and most of the only gun that I really have out is my everyday carry. And that's the one that sits beside my nightstand at night, ready to go. The kids know better than to touch it. I've already demystified and debullshitted the whole situation. Now, if I have somebody else's kids come over and I don't know them, yeah, things are getting locked up. Things are getting unloaded until they're gone. Because I like Jamie, I'm not taking that chance. But all my kids grew up around guns or are growing up around guns. So they know better. And that's the same way I grew up too. Dad had loaded guns in the house and he demystified the whole thing and everything. It was like, oh, okay. And he showed me funny story. It's the shotgun that I have now. I have a Remington Model 11 shotgun. It was Halloween and my dad I said, "Hey, Dad," I said, "Can I look at that gun in the gun locker there?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You want to touch it?" And I said, "Yeah." So he gave it to me. You know, the thing's a freaking tank. You know, Remington Model 11, straight blowback. And he goes, "You want to see what it can do?" And I said, "Yeah." He went outside. He loaded up some double-aught buck in that thing, pointed it at one of our pumpkins that were rotting away from Halloween that we carved, and just absolutely blew that thing away. And that always stuck in my mind because I was like, holy crap, this thing can do some serious effing damage. So that's one of the ways that I always demystified all the stuff with the kids, to show them what that gun, even a 22, shooting at a hollow point, 40 grain hollow point with a water bottle or something like that, or a shaking up Dr. Pepper can and watching it explode. I said, that could be you. That could be you. I said, these things are not toys. They are fun to shoot. They are fun to have around. But I said, you know, they've been through my whole spiel and everything, and they respect it. And they really do. So it's just because I demystified the whole situation.
And that's good, man. And I know when you've taught people, you're kind of like me, one round and start people off that way and kind of go that route. And you know, I've been teaching people for years, and that's how I've always done it. I do one round, and I do it for a very specific reason, simply because I don't know what's going to happen when they pull that trigger, nor do they, because they're not used to it. They have no clue what's going to happen when they pull that trigger. And for my safety, their safety, and anyone else who may be in the significant area, that's why I'm doing it. And you know, they can be mad or upset or whatever. It doesn't matter. That's just how it goes. And I've been doing that for years. And I'll tell you, I've only really had 2 or 3 people that were kind of pissy about it. But at the end of the day, they realized why, understood it, and moved on.
I've done the one round thing, even with adults, because adults, you know, they always seem to know it all. You know, and they'll take a shot and then turn and point the gun right at you. So I think it's good because people talk a lot. So it's kind of a safety thing. But I refuse to buy like a Cricket or something for my kid's first gun. I don't know. Everybody's different, but you know, you can load one round in the mag, you know. But you know damn well after that first trip shooting, they're going to be wanting a semi-automatic anyway. So you might as well just buy the semi-automatic, is the way I see it.
I'm going to tell you straight up. If I'm going to tell you straight up, if I ever have a kid, and you know, it's a big if I ever have a kid, first round they're shooting, Allen knows it's going to be a 44 Magnum, baby.
Gonna blow that kid right out of the stroller, aren't you? Better make sure your wife ain't around.
I'm gonna raise them right. They're gonna know.
Divorce.
And they'll never shoot again.
Oh, they will. They will. They're like me.
I'm just teasing.
They come from my blood. They'll shoot again.
I'm just teasing.
They'll find out his wife was a lefty real quick when those therapy bills show up.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
That's funny.
44 is the way to go, brother.
Well, I've been trying to convince. Go ahead.
What's that, Rob?
I was going to say, I've been trying to convince Scotsman and, you know, a lot of these guys that, you know, either 22 or 9mm is the true God's caliber. And before you bitch, if you look it up, 22 is basically.
Oh, I'm not sure what happened. We have a malfunction. Sorry, folks. We had a little bit of malfunction there.
22 is responsible for a lot of life loss, and 9mm, king of the.
And again, we're having malfunction, people. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, people.
Wow.
I'm
That's
not sure
funny.
what's going on. It's probably the freaking CIA or some bullshit. You know how the shit goes. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry.
Oh,
look,
man.
God bless America.
Oh man,
Internet.
yeah, it's flaky up there in New
Yeah,
York,
that
from what
internet,
I've
man.
heard. You see the side chat? Oh my God, that is hilarious. Oh
Yeah.
I'll
man,
tell y'all some true stuff. This is the thing. When guns are being stored, they should be unloaded. When guns are being used, they should be loaded. And your definition of loaded is you can put that where it is. Where what is that one in the chamber ready to go? I know where how Alan feels about it, and I would never carry on a loaded chamber. That's just me. Uh, like I said, I have a grandkid that lives at my house. Um, Now, your definition of use may vary as well. If you're uh, if you have guns designated as home defense weapons at various places in your house, they could be sitting there, not being bothered at all, but they're being used. Can we agree on that?
Yep.
oh yeah, I totally agree with you, Jamie. You
If
know,
they're
if
if they're
Probably the system.
they're
Yeah.
serving their purpose, they're there in case you need them, so you can grab them and go quickly. I get that, but that's not what goes on at my house. If I'm using a gun, it's loaded. If I'm not using it, it's not. If it's in storage, uh, yeah, if it's in storage, it's unloaded, and it's safe to handle at that.
My
Yeah.
my house was the house that all the neighborhood kids came to when my kids were young. I would have 3 or 4 kids on a regular week that stayed the night. Over the weekend, I'd have 10, 12, 15 kids at my house. All their parents knew I had plenty of firearms. They knew um, how and where I had everything stored. The way I do things now is completely different from when I did things then. And
Yep.
so, yeah, I was doing basically the same way that Jamie does, is from the sounds of it, when, I had numerous kids in my house, even though you didn't come in my house unless I knew you and your parents knew me. So yeah, there wasn't anything like now where you can take one or no steps and get to a loaded firearm in my humble abode. There's almost always something within a step's reach, and guaranteed it's loaded, it's ready to rock. That's just the status of it's being used. Um,
Exactly.
but at that time, I couldn't live like that because I had numerous kids around, and yeah, I completely trusted my kids. My kids knew where everything was. They knew exactly what they were. They knew exactly what they did. I completely eliminated the curiosity factor out of it. It's phenomenal that your granddaughter just kind of doesn't have any interest in it because
It
it's
is.
not that big of a deal. It's not a big deal for her. Which, if that's the case, then great. And hopefully, if she ever does get curious, she'll just ask you about it. It's not like you're hiding it. When you hide something from kids, that's when they want to sneak off and mess with it. That's when they want to get out there and put their grubby kid fingers on it.
Well, and I think a good thing is she sees him going on live streams and chats and talking with a lot of people all the time. So eventually, I think she will hopefully be interested in it, and it's a good avenue for Jamie to utilize. The fact that he's always talking with us and talking with other people, it's a good avenue to utilize that to introduce her to it.
Yeah, and I'll just hearken to that too. Just like I said before, if there's some kids over here, and well, just like when I was growing up, Dad completely trusted us kids around it, but 9 times out of 10, most of the kids that came, because our spot was the hangout, because we were out in the country, we had 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers, hell, we even shot trap and everything together and everything out here, and prairie dog hunt and everything. So I got lucky. All the kids that I hung out with mom and dad and everything, we were all shooters anyway, which was great because, man, it wasn't anything for us to go opening day of pheasant season and have 8-10 guys with Dad out there and going out and shooting pheasants and quail. So, which was great. So I got lucky. We're in a rural part, and just about everybody knew how to shoot. Everybody had a gun. So I've never really been around too many people that hadn't been around firearms. I'll put it that way. I've been around some, and I just got done teaching a couple this summer, that had never been around them. But yeah, to Jamie's point, yeah, in use or not in use kind of deal. Yeah, just really depends on the situation and everything you got going on. Guy's got to use his best judgment on it.
And for folks like Jamie and that kind of situation, the biggest thing there is make sure you're training so hey, when I grab this, I got to rack it and put one in. I got to do this. I got to do that. Make sure you're training for that situation.
Yeah, exactly.
That's key. I mean, it becomes instinct to pull it and rack it and let it go.
I forget.
That's what it's got to be. That's what it's got to be. So that's that's the big thing there. Like I know other people that have kids, special needs kids, stuff like that, and same thing. They don't keep one in the chamber just because, and I get it, but it's a simple thing of you got to train and you got to make sure your brain is wired that way. So when you do pick it up, hey, I got to rack this. I got to do this. I got to do that before I can do anything.
Yep, exactly. Train how you carry.
Yeah, I mean, there's like Pat said, it's different for everybody's situation. But I just want to throw out, it's better to do more than less. It's better to know than to trust sometimes when it comes to certain things. Or if your kid's got issues, this or that, just because you're a kid, don't make them an angel, because they're your kids. So you still be smart, your kids' friends, things like that. Always cover your ass is what I'm getting at. So, but yeah, different situations. I don't have kids in my house now, so I don't have to worry as much as I did in the past when my house was similar to Alan's house, where everybody in the neighborhood wanted to come to our place all the damn time. So obviously it was a different situation. So, but when it comes to like Jamie was stating with his granddaughter, if she lived with me, I'd make her ass shoot a gun. And I know that sounds like a jerk, but it's the simple fact that guns are around. I would much rather you knew what to do if you come across one than not. maybe if you come across one in a bad situation, because I've even had that with my kids. Not all of them were all into guns all the time. So, but I want to make sure you can actually, if it's left to you, you can, what to do. Get an adult, whatever the case is. How to safely handle it, not to point it at somebody, not to be pulling the trigger, all that type of stuff. Because it's shit. My son found a gun in the river, so you know what I mean. Like, it's not that uncommon for you might stumble across a gun. I might be in a scuffle and the gun's on the ground. I'd rather you picked it up than the bad guy. So I don't know. You know what I mean? I know these are like bad things you don't want your kids to be a part of anyway, but it could be staying at a friend's house and somebody brings a gun into the equation. At least if they have an understanding, they can get the hell out of there, try to take control, try to call somebody, something. They're not just going to be the dumbass that's fighting to play with it. So I think if they're, we can't erase guns, so you should at least have an understanding. Doesn't mean you got to love them or come out shooting every time, nothing like that. But I think kids and guns, or kids in households with guns, if they're in your household, like your care, they should have a general understanding, just for safety purpose.
Well, and we talk a lot about it here, and it's the same as anything else. How do you use a steak knife?
Fire extinguisher.
How do you boil water on the stove without burning yourself or scalding yourself? You take the mystique out of it, and you teach how to do everything in a safe manner. It's easier to teach females than it is males. We're a little bit more hard-headed and have a tendency to do things wrong on purpose.
True.
Yep. And I think you said the key word. Teach your kids.
Yeah, don't expect an education system to teach them everything. Teaching a young toddler to not be touching the stove it's a thing. Hey, don't stick that fork in the light socket. You can't childproof the world.
No, let them do that. That's how they're gonna learn. Let them do that. Is it gonna knock them on for 6 for a minute? It might, but let them do that, because that's the only way they're gonna fucking learn. Because the world's not gonna teach you anything anymore. They're gonna lie to you constantly and tell you things that don't exist, and do this and do that, and you have to really pay attention. And the problem is nowadays, especially if your kid's going to a public school or anything like that, parents ain't paying attention to what they're being taught. And so the kids are coming home and they're learning all kinds of bullshit that actually do nothing but hurt the country, hurt people, hurt themselves. And the parents just ain't paying attention, man.
Yeah. And then I'm going to bring back a call back. Get off your damn phone. And teach.
Talk about how awesome 22 caliber is yet.
Uh-oh. I feel the internet is about ready to quit on Rob's end again.
Yeah, I agree. 22 is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. 22 is fun. 22 is fun.
That's what the bad actors use
All right.
to terminate somebody with extreme prejudice.
All right. We seem to have a fucking troll or something out there in the side chat. saying, let's see, thinking I can take on the modern military with an AR-15. All right, look, I'm gonna tell you straight up, motherfucker. I'm not sitting here saying I can take on the military or by any means of the matter, but I will defend my own. Period. And it doesn't matter who comes for it. I will defend my own. Take that however you want to take that, but I will defend my own.
No, just because it looks like a military rifle doesn't mean that it is. To send somebody into a combat zone with a standard AR-15 is just stupid.
I don't know. I'd say to send them in without the support of a soldier, stupid. Because everybody only sees the tip, but there's a whole chain that supports that. I don't know. A lot of time I liked burst or select, where you get 3-round bursts. I know people complain. It never jammed for me. But full auto, I really didn't use much, honestly. And now that I pay for ammo, shit, I'd like to be able to have them, but it's got to be a bad day if I'm just unloading full auto.
All right, Agent Smith is clearly an absolute fucking retard, so we're just gonna get rid of this motherfucker. Yeah, you can fucking disappear. Fuck you. All right. Moving on.
Looked like that guy had old arguments anyway, so.
Yeah, you want to be stupid and talk dumb shit. At least show up with facts. Don't show up with dumb shit. Talk facts. You're sitting there talking about shit that's just not reality.
There was this dude named George Armstrong Custer. He found out about the Native Americans.
Yeah,
I don't care what kind of weapons you got. You got 250 guys. You're not going to beat 10,000.
No, it's a numbers game at that point in time.
Yeah.
And like Ricky says, if you think the military is actually going to come out here and start attacking people, your head's up your fucking ass, dude. You're thinking completely wrong.
Well, and let's just let's catapult off of what Jamie said. Look at World War II with the Russians versus the Germans at the Battle of Stalingrad. They didn't win or repel the Germans because they had the better tech or anything like that. They just flat had the numbers. I mean, they'd send guys in there. Only every other guy on a wave attack, every other guy had a gun because they were like, okay, look to your left, look to your right. That guy's going to die. When he gets shot, you pick up his rifle, or if somebody goes down, you pick up the rifle, and then you go. So, yeah, I mean, at some point in time, it's just it's a numbers game.
I can tell you more about that battle than you probably want to know.
Which one?
Stalingrad.
Yeah, that's... No, hit us with a little bit of knowledge, Jamie.
The Russians had their back against the wall, bud. Germany went in there, balls to the wall, man. They were eating up ground like Grant took Richmond. And the Germans had this disagreement. Hitler wanted to go, well, the generals, the German generals, wanted to go straight for Moscow, but Hitler wanted them to go to the south to take up to get the oil producing lands. So that's when they turned and went towards Stalingrad. And they had to do that to get to where they wanted to go to get the minerals that they needed, the steel, the iron, and that kind of stuff. So when they got there, all of a sudden the their dictator, Stalin's namesake city, is under attack, right? So the Russians shifted everything and encircled the German Sixth Army and killed or captured 900,000 Germans and their equipment just outside Stalingrad by the end of that engagement.
It's quite brutal, and it was a diversion of tactics, which created a delay. And as usual, they were on a time crunch because you can't move heavy equipment over there through certain times. So they lost a whole lot of stuff along the way too. And coming in, they ended up burning and basically depleting all the resources on the way in, and had trouble trying to get out too. So because they couldn't go back the same way due to that same purpose. A lot of them froze to death, weren't even prepared.
Yeah, they weren't ready. They weren't ready to fight in the bitter cold either. So a lot of their equipment did not function. They were not prepared to fight. A lot of them died out of hypothermia, and a lot of people lost their limbs from frostbite. So you guys were mentioning the 3-shot group and all that. When you're in the military and you go, you shoot a crew surf weapon, something like it's mounted on a truck or in a tank. You can actually shoot semi-auto because you're on a stable platform. But if you got even a light weapon like the M4, it used to be the M16, when you fire on automatic, you're not going to be as accurate. So your muscle's going to rise, even if you are Arnold Schwarzenegger with shooting an M60 on both hands. That don't work. So when you shoot 3-round blast, that makes you more I don't like to say accurate, I like more consistent, and it also conserves ammo. So sometimes numbers, sometimes you can overwhelm. And when we go out, you're supposed to overwhelm the enemy. It's a psychological factor. But also, if you use tactics and you know your terrain and you know your enemy very well, you can also defeat it with even less amount of people.
So you bring up an excellent point. Know your enemy, know your terrain, and the other part to that is know your surroundings.
Yes.
And be aware of what's going on around you. One of the biggest factors of self-defense is simply knowing your surroundings and simply having a good understanding of what's going on. And I've said this many, many times before. Folks like myself, Daniel, and a few other people out there, we get looked at funny. We get looked at funny because we go places, and when we go places, we sit in a certain position, and we look around, and we constantly look around.
Yes,
and we get funny looks because we're constantly looking around and we're constantly doing this. That's being self-aware. We're understanding what's going on around us. We're paying attention to where the exits are. We're paying attention to what could potentially happen.
Absolutely.
Potential threats are.
Or it could be because you're wearing a kilt and a 10mm on your hip.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Do you know in Vietnam, a lot of the guys that got captured, it wasn't because the enemy came and captured them, because they got complacent. So that you when you were on a tactical situation, you had to practice noise and light discipline, right? So if you are in the middle of somewhere that is dark and you light up a cigarette because you don't think nobody's going to see you, the sniper is going to put that round right there with that little amber light is. So, and a lot of guys, it happens too in Desert Storm. Some of the guys that got captured, they weren't following your basic stuff. Awareness is one of the most important things. And if you're gonna fight an enemy, you got to, the more you know about that enemy, the more advantage you have. So how they fight, what are their tactics, what are the equipment they use. So I know I'm talking in big scales, but he also applies to us. When I go eat with the wife, I don't like to sit with my back towards the door. I always like to sit somewhere where I can see who comes in and out as much as possible,
No,
because I want to
and
know. Yeah.
that's a big thing. Like if I go anywhere, I want to be able to see all the exits, entrances, the whole 9 yards. I need to see all of it. And if they try to put me in a seat where I'm not able to see any of that stuff, I'm going to tell them put me somewhere else.
Yep. And I don't know, do I got any avenue of evasion? Do I have any cover? I might not be able to respond right away, but I need to know what I need to, get some cover, what can protect me, that kind of thing. So it's kind of crazy, but these days that's the way it is. Of course, for me, and I know Jamie probably knows, some of you guys know, I trust God. I do. It's Jesus is my savior. I don't deny it, but you got to have a little bit of common sense. So and sometimes I see people that get so careless, like walking in a dark place that you've never been. You should never go out there unless you have to.
Mhm.
So things like that you'll see that in the military. You don't hear about it, but a lot of that stuff is because people get careless and complacent. So we used to say in the military, when I was in I was in the airborne units, you got to be like a fly. You know how the flight is, right? Has eyes everywhere, so you always know. That's when you're trying to hit it. You can't hit it unless you got something that can confuse that fly. That's why you use the fly swatter, right? Supposedly the fly has, they say they're not eyes, but they are like eyes. I mean, they're like sensors, I guess, on their back, on the wings. And that's why when you use a fly swatter, he has a bunch of holes. So they don't know which hole is going to hit. And that's why you almost 99% you get a fly with a fly swatter. So yeah, you gotta, these days you
Okay.
got to be aware.
Yeah. Here's a little bit of trivia.
I go to sit down like in a restaurant, public environment, whatever. Yeah, I want to be able to be facing the door. The only time that I'm half comfortable is with only a few certain people that I know are
Yes.
being very vigilant about situational awareness. I went down and visited the Scotsman a number of years ago. We walked into this diner, and he sat down facing the door. I didn't have a problem sitting on the opposite side of the table with my back towards the door, simply because I know how vigilant he is about his situational awareness. And I was never actual military, so part of that is still bred in me from life experience. But there's I also kind of have a thing where I match people's steps and I eat stupid fast. So there's a couple other things that are involved there that
Absolutely.
a lot of military folks do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I trust in God, but on top of that, like, God gives you the opportunity to do for yourself.
That's
So
right.
you gotta
That's right.
pay attention, and if look for that raft or whatever, metaphorically. But you got to be willing to take a leap sometimes. So
No, it's just like this last year I went out to Iowa, and same thing. Alan took me out to a restaurant, and I had my back to the door, had my back to the window, and I wasn't worried about it because I know exactly how Alan is. So, we were there for probably a good solid 2 hours, and I wasn't concerned one bit.
he paid me $5 to put one of them "kick me" stickers on your back, right?
Hey, you know what, man? I've been kicked in the back so many times. I'm not worried about it.
There you go.
Okay, since we're talking about situational awareness, back in the Wild Wild West, here's a little trivia for you. Who was the best at situational awareness until he wasn't?
Mm.
Jamie's probably going to get this one.
Wild Bill Hickok.
West,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
I was gonna say,
Exactly.
I'll bet.
Because every time he went into the bar and played poker, he always made sure he had his back against the wall and he could see the front door. The one time
Mm.
that he did not do that, and it got him killed.
Yep. Complacency.
Now, bonus points. What was the hand and what is the famous name for it that he was holding at the time?
Dead man's hand. Aces and eights.
Yes, sir. I knew Jamie was going to clean everybody's clock with this one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
So yeah, it just we were talking about situational awareness, and I was like, oh yeah, I know who was king at that until he wasn't.
No, that's a really good point.
It is.
You know, people. You know, we talk about this a lot, but people really don't pay attention, and it's the simple things that make a difference.
Yep.
And what may seem extreme to some people, you know, like myself, Alan, and Daniel, and some other people, you know, who we go in a restaurant and we want to be sitting in a very specific spot for a very specific reason, and be able to see this, do that, and whatever it may be. You know, may seem extreme to someone, but at the end of the day, I'm walking out alive.
Mm-hmm.
So what revolvers
Well,
did Wild Bill Hickok carry?
say that again, Jamie.
What revolvers did Wild Bill Hickok carry? You know this, Pat.
Yeah, it's my Pietas. That style. It's exactly what you brought up the last night.
His were Colts, 36 caliber
Right.
Navy Colts. Every
Yep.
penny got it.
Wow.
Yep.
You know, we were talking about sitting in restaurants. When I'm with the family, like my grandkids, that's when I am the most aware because you know, those kids are they're the seed of my seed, and you know, you love your grandkids, you love them. It's just I never thought I was going to be a dad when I was a young boy, and I didn't even think I was going to have grandkids. But when you have family, you know, you that's when we go to eat to the restaurant, eat breakfast. That's when I'm most aware of because you could be in a family place and you don't know a crazy is going to walk in there. You don't never know. So that's when I'm the most aware when I have the family around me.
That's exactly
Well,
it. You never know when
so when you're sitting in a restaurant and you know you see a guy walk in the door, you can see it in a man's face right when they're coming into the establishment.
Yep.
And you can spot the guys that do this. You can spot the people that do this. And they're already establishing, okay, well, I've got X amount of people here. I've got X amount of people there. They're already making assessment the second they step in the door. They were making assessments as they were getting ready to come in. And to me, it's kind of like one of my favorite sports is people watching. It's half entertaining to me, but then you can really spot the people that are very much situationally aware when they walk in, and then you see those people that are just like da-da-da.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Well, you know, it's you know, former military, hunters, you know, stuff like that. You know, we're constantly scanning.
Yep.
We're scanning.
My
And if
daughter.
Oh, go ahead, Rob.
I was just saying, my daughter's coworker said that She thinks I got that toxic masculinity thing going on because I back into the parking spot when I go to pick her up.
That's just to get out easier, man.
Oh, they go ahead.
There's simple things like
That's eliminating a couple of steps out of your program. It's like put it in drive and nail the gas and get the hell out.
It's just normal, or I try to park in a manner where I can't get blocked in.
That's another thing. Yep, you bring a good point. You should know. And when I used to work, I never took the same route coming back home. And when I saw a car following me, my antennas went up. So okay, this guy turned one more time the same way I'm turning. I'm gonna keep on going. I'm not gonna go to my house. So I've been on that situation. So everything counts. It's not that you want to be paranoid. You just have to be aware.
no, it's being aware, paying attention, understanding, and making smart decisions. That's the thing of it. It's making smart decisions. So none of us are wanting to be out there and having to draw a firearm or having to do this or having to do that. So it's making that smart decision.
Yep.
Tell you about smart decisions. When I was a young feller, I'm talking 8, 9, 10 years old, my granddad used to make me cut grass. And one time I was cutting grass and I'd gotten done, and he was sitting there in his chair outside with a glass of iced tea, whatever. And I'll turn back then you had a throttle on your push mowers, but that cable was out of adjustment. So I pushed it all the way down and the motor didn't quit running. And I yelled, "Pawpaw, it won't stop." And he says, "You see that black cable going to the spark plug?" And I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Reach down there and pull that off."
Oh,
I did that.
Oh.
Damn. Oh, my dad.
Ouch.
Woo, and you got lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, I still remember that. And I'm 63 years old now. So that's been what? 50 years?
Wow.
53 years?
It's a good shot, too.
Some things you don't forget, and there's a reason why he told me that.
That's right.
And there's another time, and
that's a good shock.
That's a good shock. But another time, I was out shooting my BB gun, and I said, "I'm gonna go hide, Pawpaw. I bet you can't shoot me with it." And he said, "Okay." So I went to. We used to hang clothes out on the line. We had a clothesline, and he had 2 4x4 posts. Now I'm a little bitty kid now. I got behind this 4x4 post, and he says, "Are you ready?" And I said, "Yeah." He shot me and hit me in the ankle. Right, that bone that comes out right there that sticks out the side, right above your foot.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
He popped me right on that bone.
Ouch.
I mean, exactly on that bone. I mean, I was hopping up and down and crying and screaming. And he told me, he said, "Son, be careful what you bet."
I was gonna say, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
And you know what I took away from that, Jamie? The best lessons are often learned the hard way.
But I taught him a lesson later when I was about, I guess, 14, 15 years old. I was old enough to be fascinated by the opposite sex at this point in time. Here's him, Gabriel. What's up, bud? And
Old enough to get himself in trouble.
right. And me and him was out knocking around somewhere, as we often did when I was younger. And truth be told, we've been out shooting pool all day. And back in the 60s, guys wore long hair. And he pointed at this person, individual, and he said, "Jamie, is that a girl or a boy?" And I said, "Pop off, you have to ask. It don't matter. Just keep going."
That statement is true today.
Yep.
It's even more true today, man. Guys, this world is scary, man. And
it's something else. I will agree. I will agree with Jamie 100%. This world is something else.
Yes.
If you can't tell what they are, they more than likely can't tell you either.
They're gonna tell you I am it, this, that, the other, blah blah blah, whatever the fuck they identify as, and at that point you need to walk the fuck away.
well, read some of Vanessa Kitty's comments over there, man. It's yeah, some of the stories she's telling.
Yeah.
Crazy talk, man. What man's inhumanity to humanity.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's like oh, go ahead. Sorry, Jamie.
Like World War II we were talking about. And I will add one other thing to that story is never outrun your supply line. That's what the Germans got. They got it overextended, and they allowed the Russians to cut their supply line. They were convinced that they were going to go through Russia like they did France. Guess what? Russia's a whole lot bigger than France.
Yep.
You know, all you got to do is look at history. If you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. Didn't Bonaparte, Napoleon try that crap in Russia? He met the same end, right?
Yep. Then damn near the same thing happened. Yep.
Going in there for an 8-week.
They don't pay attention to history, Jamie. They're trying to erase history.
They're trying to make it.
Well, every generation thinks they know better. You know, they'll be the ones to do it.
They just want people like we talked about earlier. They want you to be sucked into your fucking phone and doing this and doing that instead of actually paying attention to what's going on.
Exactly.
I think if anybody tries to invade Russia, they've had a bad day. But I think if anybody
they'll have a fucking bad day, that's for sure. They'll have a fucking bad day.
And
I ain't messing with Russia.
And Ukraine's done it a little bit, but I also think if anybody tries to invade the United States of America, they've had a worse day.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, either way, here or Russia, you done fucked up.
Yeah, I'd say Russia.
You're basically done fucked up. You went to I'm a retard town, and that's kind of where you're stuck at. Because if you really think you're taking out either one of the major fucking powers in the world, yeah, you done fucked up.
I'd argue we could take Russia. It's a different war now, or it would be. It wouldn't necessarily be, boots on the ground to go in and do a bunch. Obviously, nuclear is the issue, but if it was just brute muscle force, I don't think we'd have much of a problem. Geographically, it's always been a problem as far as boots on the ground. But if we hit it with a bunch of drones and precision strikes, and I think we could choke them out if we wanted to in a starvation. Not that I think it would be easy or whatever, but I think that would be easier than the U.S. today, just because of the population, the numbers, the size, resources, the culture. As they say, everybody with a NASCAR and 12 pack will be running down the highway with a 12 gauge going for the border if they ever invade.
I love that bit. I love that bit. Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious.
So it's totally different. We're way more armed when you look at the number of veterans in America. That's where the whole, an AR against the military, yes, and the military has a lot of shit that isn't even public. Yeah, we know that. But if they completely destroy us, how do they keep surviving? You know what I mean? It's, I don't know. It's one of them things that just, it's doesn't, there's no winner in the end of something like that when it comes to America.
You get to that point.
But yeah, I think Russia could be taken if we weren't dumb and marched in like everybody else right before winter, hoping to do it within so many months and get distracted and advance our supply line and burn our bridges. Shit.
Yeah. Well,
U.S. would be the real hard one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I keep thinking about that bit, and I got to say this before I do anything else. The Marines show up 2 hours later, and the rednecks say, "War's over, baby."
Hey guys, I had to pull out, man. The conversation is great. Great topic tonight. But I want to say one more thing before I go. I was reading somewhere during the war with Japan that the Japanese wanted to invade America. It was one of their plans. But there was a Japanese general, I can't remember his name, that said that wouldn't be feasible because he said that I'm paraphrasing, I don't know exactly what he said, but he said that in America, behind every blade of grass was a firearm. So they knew that the people will not stand for that. So, hey, God bless you guys. Thank you for having me tonight.
Man, thanks for coming by again.
Yeah, be safe out there, guys.
No, I appreciate you, man.
Bye, Jose.
Daniel was put it out there, but that was Yamamoto.
Yep. Man, great. We'll see you against God willing next Sunday.
All right,
bye, buddy.
Appreciate you, man. Take it easy.
Yep, Yamamoto. Because what did he say before they attacked Pearl Harbor? Wasn't it? I think we have awoken a sleeping giant.
Yep.
Yeah, and we got geography in our kind of advantage too. So as far as Canyon, Great Lakes, a bunch of choke points, and I think
Rocky
here,
Mountains.
like other cultures, I mean, we're here because we did rebel, with arms in a sense. So, and we're willing to. So here it's our culture to fight back, even though we've been, in my opinion, suppressed lately because we're all, turn the other cheek, be the nice guy. But, a lot of other countries, it's not that way where they don't have guns. They haven't been able to defend themselves in their homes for years. It's not even a thing to them. So I think we're
you can only turn the cheek so much, though.
Yeah. Even here, a grandma might shoot your ass. Where somewhere else that's probably not the case.
Yep. Agreed.
So M. Gabriel brought it up too, but as Lincoln said, if America collapses, it'll be from within. That's 100%, man. The way this country operates, it's literally gonna be from within. They purposely try to fuck us over left, right, and center. And one way or another, it is going to collapse. It's just when is the question. And it's going to be from within because that's just how they designed it. And if you don't think that's true, look at some of the different bills they've had out there recently. They've had bills out there to introduce things to kill your car. So basically, whenever they want to, they can say, hey, your car is no longer working and shut your car off. There's all kinds of shit that they've put out there, introduced in various different bills to essentially basically fuck you.
Ask for speeding. Ford manufacturing, they got a thing out where they want all their cars to report if you're speeding, as well as, you know, through their cameras, any other vehicles around them. So
Yeah, it's getting crazy, and you know the AI bullshit is a whole other ball game. That shit's taking over, and you just gotta pay attention, be careful, and watch out for yourself because it's we got a lot of problems coming. Just gotta really pay attention because it's gonna happen one way or another. So.
I saw a headline today that one of the liberal state senators from, well, you know where from, actually introduced a bill to repeal the Second Amendment in the state of Georgia because of the rampant gun violence in Atlanta. And never thought I'd see that day, but here we are.
drag their ass out of the office and give them the boot.
Someone's smoking crack.
Yep. Well, it's kind of something similar to what's going on here in Nebraska. They just introduced a bill because in Nebraska we're a unicameral, and basically you can carry a loaded firearm as long as it's visible on your hip, on your shoulder, doesn't matter, into the state capitol. The only time you cannot carry a firearm is when you actually go down into the Senate part. And now all the liberals in Nebraska are trying to bring this bill forward saying you can't carry in the state capitol. There has never been a shooting in the capitol. And when we finally got constitutional carry and some other things turned around in the last 2-3 years, everybody peacefully carried their guns. And it's never been a problem. But the liberals think that you're all sitting ducks now. They can carry. This wasn't a problem 10, 15 years ago. Nobody raised a gripe about it. So why now? I don't know. It's just it befuddles me. It's not going to pass because most of Nebraska is Republicans and constitutionalists. So it's not going to pass. But it's like you guys are crazy because most of the Senate is packing too. So it's like everybody's got a damn gun. It's like, what are you guys worried about?
Well,
it's crazy.
Daniel is on the security team at his church. We actually have 2 police officers that are members of our church that patrol our campus on Sunday mornings. And we had a meeting, and they know that there's quite a large population in the congregation that have concealed carry license, and now we have constitutional carry too, and all that. So they approached some of us and said, "Hey, if we're working here, you guys probably don't need to be carrying at church." And they said, we can't tell you not to carry, but we can tell you this. If somebody comes in and starts shooting at the pastor and we have to defend his life with our firearms, if you stand up and start shooting at the guy too, we're going to have trouble knowing who's the bad guy. So after we had that conversation, I typically don't carry at church anymore. I don't feel the need. I feel the need to let those guys do their job.
Well, I think you got hustled.
I see that point, Jamie. I totally see that point. We had after Charlie Kirk's assassination, um, at our local church, we had a candlelight vigil for him. Originally, this thing was going to be, like 45 people RSVP'd, and it was going to be an outdoor event. So, myself and a couple other guys, we ended up forming a team, and because it was going to be an outdoor event, we were basically going to try to provide some type of security team. It ended up the city canceled it from where we were going to hold it and moved it into one of the large churches in my town. It became a really big thing. There was over 1,500 people in attendance. But law enforcement was there with a presence, and along with that, I walked right up to. I know most law enforcement in my town, and the guy that was orchestrating their detail team for that event walked up to me and goes, so you got a team here tonight? He just knew. He just already knew that I was going to have a team there. And I was like, yep, I've got this person, this person, this person. And so he spread amongst his team. They had 3 unmarked cruisers outside. There was probably 10 officers outside in plain clothes. There was another 10 officers indoors in plain clothes, and like 5 uniformed officers inside the event. But we made it perfectly clear. When he saw me, he made a beeline for me. And first thing out of his mouth was, do you have a team here tonight? So we were very, very much in communication with them. He would come around and drop locations of where his team members were at, any intel that they were seeing, anything that they were curious of, and so we worked well together. Now, having that said, you got to have the communication. That's the only other thing. You have to have communication. Yes, you got a couple of off-duty officers in the church, and if those plainclothes officers are not going to be in communication with any kind of other IE respondents, then it might be a bad thing. It might end up being a bad thing. Yeah, it was a thing. Luckily, nothing happened. But we were very, very, very much in tune with each other's teams, and where each chunk of team was at any given time.
I'll cut in, be that guy, and say, I think Jamie got hustled. I find it insulting that I should disarm myself or my family because of a couple security guards. Basically, I don't care if that's the hospital, if it's anywhere. When it comes down to it, it's my job. So you're happy to assist. Maybe I don't need to step in at all, and I just usher my family out. I don't know. Maybe somebody tries to mug us in the parking lot. I don't know. But, maybe you two both get shot, or all 3 of you. And now I'm just standing in the line saying, oh, shit, let me go get my gun. I don't know. But I'm not putting that on anybody but myself. So if it's confusing, that's a chance I'm willing to take. If they don't want me to come there, then I just won't come there, you know. But I don't think anybody that's in your corner wants to disarm you personally. That's just how I feel about it. It might just be me, but I don't like trusting myself in other people's hands that often don't even have the experience or training that I've been through. You know, half the time, shit, they're not even flirting with some girl on the side. Like, no, I don't. You know,
No, that's probably one of the biggest things is I'm not putting my life in someone else's hands. If like for example, work says we have access doors and we're supposed to scan in and do this and do that and blah 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 blah. That's all fantastic, but no one always pays attention to what's going on. Someone can walk behind someone else. They'll hold the door open. They don't give a shit. No one's actually paying attention. They don't know if they fucking work there or don't work there. So don't sit there and tell me that you have my life in your hands. That's just not going to happen. This is not. Period. I don't care who you are. You don't get to determine my life. You don't. So like when I walk into work and they got all those signs up there that say you can't do this and you can't do that. No, fuck you. I'm sorry, not sorry. Fuck you. You don't get to tell me because you're not sitting here protecting my life. So no, I will protect my own life. I'll do what I want to fucking do. And that's all there is to it. Period.
Yeah. Speaking of scanning and having to go in, I was listening to a podcast here a little while back, and this guy, when they first started enriching uranium and building the nuclear bombs that were going to be dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, they had a CIA guy. They said, okay, we're putting together a team. There's a couple guys going to each site and see if they can break in and get into a vital systems that would cripple what's going on at that said place. Like Oak Ridge or, what have you, to pick a nuclear site. And 3/4 of those guys were let through because they dressed up like maintenance guys and stuff like that with like ladders and carrying tools and stuff like that, and were let straight in. And they wandered around for hours, and they came back out and they say like, well, here's the problem with this, here's the problem with this, here's the problem with this. Start rattling off all that stuff. And it's like, yeah, it's like, back to your point, that you don't know who you're letting in and everything. So, but that obviously that was the start of the nuclear, and everything was really hush hush. But at the same time, people can still get in.
No, it's a simple thing. Someone walks up behind someone else. You don't know what's going on. And most people don't pay enough attention to actually give a shit. And so they just hold the door open. And the next thing you know, this person's in the building. And you don't know what they're going to do. You have no clue what their intentions are.
They call it tailgating.
Right.
There you go. That's the word I was looking for, Jamie. Thank you.
And you have exactly no idea what their intentions are. So now you're sitting there and, again, you don't get to tell me what I can and cannot do when it comes to my life, period. That's as simple as it is. I don't care who you are. You do not get to tell me. I've had this discussion and fought with people over the years about it, and it's really not even a fight because it's pretty fucking simple. You just don't get to tell me. You don't. There is no sorry this, sorry that. You don't get to tell me. I defend myself. Period. That's it.
Nope, can't say that I blame you.
I get it.
Well, if I'm not allowed to carry the tools that I want to carry in order to go where I want to go, then I just won't go there. I mean,
That's how
Yep.
I feel. And I don't
Yep.
want it to come off like we're pressuring Jamie or something. It's just, something I throw out because I don't like the fact they tell him that. Are they walking him and his family to their car? And if they are, who's watching the flock? Everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, you can't 100% guarantee anybody's security, you know? So I don't like that. But I don't want it to seem like we're harping on you, Jamie. You know what I mean? You got to make a choice and what's right for you at the time. So, but yeah, just as a whole, I really, really don't like that because to me, it just relates back to the whole security guard thing and shit. Even in some cases, police, whether we're going to have police, that doesn't matter. Police, I don't know what you guys know, but when they're in a losing situation, they're told to be a good witness. They're not there to die for you.
Police are probably some of the worst people you can have in that kind of situation because they typically react instead of actually thinking before they react, and so you end up with a lot of problems, and the situation escalates itself majorly. And way before anyone else knows what's going on, and bam, there you go. You got this huge fucking mess going on because they panicked, and that's a big thing. I don't think that's something that we talk about enough. As people who are out there shooting, practicing, and being a part of what America stands for and standing up for our rights, you got to make sure you can deal with situations. The big one that we see a lot is cops panic, and
even if they don't, it's not their job to die for you.
It's not. And the thing of it is even if they ain't there and say it's just you need to understand how to react in that situation. You need to be able to calmly figure out what to do to get out of there. And that's a huge factor, is being able to do it calmly and not overreact and cause more problems because you're overreacting.
Yep.
Well, it's real simple. You just shove everybody out of your way and you bull through them because nobody matters except you. Oh, maybe that's just my philosophy.
Well, people are going to people. You know what I mean? Some are going to do this, some are going to do that. And, it's what is it? The old saying, keeping calm when other people around you are losing theirs.
I'm just gonna say I'm not really gonna worry too much about Allen because I know Allen, and he's either got a 10mm or a 44 Magnum, so I'm really not too worried about Allen. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be okay.
You saying just gonna shoot a hole out of any wall to get out of anything he needs?
He's gonna put you in the fucking ground. That's what I'm telling you. I don't care who you are. You fucked with the wrong person. That's what that comes down to.
Yeah, and I'll use your corpse to get to your buddy behind you.
Yeah. Yeah, you fucked with the wrong person. That's what that comes down to. I've known
That's
Alan a
funny.
long time, and I give him credit where credit's due, and I've seen Alan pretty much shoot everything that can be shot. He shot, and he's never had a single problem with being on target. So, yeah, you don't want to be on the other end of Alan.
Not to toot my own horn, but sadly I can even shoot a Glock. It's pathetic.
As much as I hate to say this, I hate saying this.
No interference.
People, I hate saying this. Hold on, we're probably gonna have some interference. Hang on, we're getting there. But I hate saying this, but I have to give credit where credit's due, and Alan unfortunately can shoot a Glock, and
Oh my gosh!
I'm not sure how, because those things are fucking trash. But
This one-sided show. This is bullshit, man.
Hang on, folks. We're having some problems, folks. Hang on. Hang on. Let's stand by. We here we go. We're good. We're good. We're back.
22.
Man, that internet can be a tricky thing.
It's a mess, man. It's a mess. No, you got to be careful with that with those locks, dude. No, it's I will honestly though. Alan is someone who impresses me a lot when it comes to shooting. The guy can shoot pretty much almost anything, and it's pretty cool to watch and see.
Yeah, much like yourself, I like the big bore.
And I always try to teach people how to shoot a revolver first, because my thing is, if you can shoot a revolver, you can pretty much shoot anything. And so a lot of people, I've come across a lot of people over the years that argue with me back and forth. Oh, that's just dumb. That's stupid. Whatever. Everybody that I've taught to shoot has always gone out, shot a revolver, and then shoot everything else just fine. So you can sit there and argue with me all you want, but I'll tell you all day long, go shoot a revolver first, because once you understand the mechanics of a revolver and you understand how that gun operates, you're going to be able to shoot pretty much anything without a problem.
You eat a salad before you shoot it, you'll be even better.
I think we're. Wait. We no, we got we got some internet issues again. Oh man, these internet issues are killing us. They're killing us.
Oh Lord, we're having fun.
Crazy storm tonight.
Yep. Yeah, you must be getting some real heavy snow or something up there, messing with the power lines and some high winds or something up there.
I got Starlink, man. I got some of the best fucking internet there is.
Mm-hmm.
But I just keep having problems. Shit just keeps happening. People keep disappearing. I'm not sure what's going on. I mean, that internet's not cheap, dude. I pay a lot of money for that internet.
I thought you stole it from your neighbors.
I used to.
All right. I gotta start getting ready to go, guys.
No, we're gonna get going out of here anyway. Pat, we'll start with you. Pat, what you got going on, man? You got anything coming up?
He just hit a BRB.
Yeah, he'll be back.
All right, Rob, we'll start with you. What you got?
He's got no internet.
Nothing, man. Obviously, eat a salad, stay cool. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Sorry about internet issues. Shit happened. Oh, he's gone again. Damn it, motherfucker. Oh no, he's back. All right, there we go. Jamie, what you got going on, brother?
Work tomorrow. Lots of meetings. Georgia Shooting Connection, Friday nights at 8 o'clock. Check us out. Come and join us. We'll have fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. No, and that's exactly why I teach the way I teach, Texican. If you can master a revolver trigger, you can pretty much master anything. And
Especially double action.
That's exactly why I teach the way I teach.
Especially double action.
Yep, double action is a big thing. I mean, hell, Allen picked up an Anaconda, and I had the pleasure of shooting this thing this past year, and he went out and bought an expensive box of ammo, really expensive box of ammo. I'm halfway through the box shooting this shit, and I got to stop. I'm having too much fun. Like, I know how much this shit costs. I got to stop. I couldn't stop hitting the fucking target. I was having so much bloody fun with that thing, but I'm like, dude, I got to stop shooting this thing. I know how much this is. It's like, here, dude, take it. Please, take it.
You back
Get
yet,
up there,
Matt?
shoot revolvers, and have fun, man. Revolvers will change your world. Let's see. Pat, are you back yet? All right. Doesn't look like it. So we'll just go ahead and we'll get out of here. Everyone up in the side chat, I appreciate y'all. You guys have been fantastic. Good conversation out there. Always good seeing everybody. So thank you to everyone out there. With that being said, Allen, please, for the love of God, take us out right.
Boy, I really, really wanted to tell Rob that hopefully the weather isn't affecting his business all that much, to try and stay dry and warm. Pat, with his, spring weather already, can, go bite one for all I care. But thank you everybody over there for joining us this evening. Good conversation, good topics. I did actually plan on releasing a video. No, I can't even finish that sentence. That's going to be a lie, and I don't want to lie to anybody. I did have some advice, though, due to our previous conversation, to keep them magazines loaded in 1,